She will be, giving us some exciting tips on the parenting session, and why this digital platform is necessary, and all these things. Like, if you have any queries, if you have any questions, you can, ask us, post a session. Or also, what you can do is, like, we have a chat window, so please post your questions, post your queries, and we will be more than happy to assist you. So over to you, Ritu ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, Uzma. Thank you, Shweta.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Namaste.
Thank you
Good
for
evening
being
to
here,
all the
Ritu Maam.
parents. Yeah, it would be nice if it'll be become more interactive, parents, if you switch on your videos, so that we feel there is a. So that's a very important part of digital platform. It's not like a webinar; it's an interactive, session. So, if possible, that would be wonderful.
Don't
All
worry,
right.
parents. You might be in the night suits or nighties. It's
We,
completely fine.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Because the interaction will be limited if, you don't have a contact, eye contact. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so much. Somebody did switch on. Um, very, important in today's times, that we have to discuss this. So, first of all, what do you think are your expectations? What do you think? What do you want to take away from this session? Why, rather, let me put the question: how, like, what are you expecting? Why are you here with me today? Can I have some question? You can unmute yourself, friends. It'll be really nice because then I'll be able to help you with whatever my experience and my knowledge of early childhood is. Right.
మన
Is there anything that's coming to your mind? Why are we here? All right.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. I request all the parents to unmute themselves only
Huh.
when they have to answer, because I think there is a lot of background disturbance.
Yeah.
So, can you please unmute yourself only when you have the answers?
So, perfect. Perfect. That should be good. And yes, that is there. So, well, I was thinking about when Caterpillar Schools, they contacted. I thought that it is so important in this time, you know, to understand how do we go about parenting. You know that parenting by itself is a very difficult task. Agreed? You
Yes,
all
ma'am.
agree?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, whether you have a single child, whether you have two children, three children, it doesn't matter, you know, whether you're in a joint family or nuclear family. So it's never been easy. It's never been easy. And in the COVID times, it has become even more difficult because we've been in lockdown, we have to play safe, we have social distancing, we cannot take our children outside, we cannot let others hug our children, kiss our children, which normally went around. They are homebound, and we are all apprehensive. What will happen to education of our children? Don't you agree? Don't you
Yes, ma'am.
agree? What
Yes.
will happen? These are my little babies. Everybody has a, we want the very best. We're working hard for the very best of our children. So we are very apprehensive. What should we do? How will the school live up to your expectations? Right? The various concerns that might be in your mind already probably is, oh, will that online class make my child have too much screen time? Making kids sit for the required number of minutes, hours, depending upon the age. Is that good? Can I make them do that? Will we as parents be able to make our children sit down? Right? So that becomes a very big challenge for all of us. And what about focus? Will he learn? Will a child learn anything in an online class? Well, these questions are absolutely normal. That means you are normal parents, all right? We all have to have, these anxieties are there. And before I plunge into the actual online, how we are going to go about and why the learning should not stop, let me take up what UNICEF, what ECA, which is an Early Childhood Association group in India, because I don't know, many of you might not know, we don't come under pre-primaries, don't come under any education ministry, neither state nor at the center level, but we have the guidelines from our national association that's called Early Childhood Education Association. All right. I think one or two parents, there are children, of course, naturally they'll be there, but you can just mute so that then I don't have to strain too much, right? So you can
Right.
just mute yourselves while you are, yeah, and then we'll have question answers. So uh, I was just trying to explain that ECA, UNICEF have have helped the early childhood teachers and mentors to come up with certain guidelines. First and foremost, we all talk about creating a flexible but consistent routine. We've just finished the summer vacation. Children are getting up at odd times. We are getting up at odd times, sleeping at odd hours. But we need to get back into a schedule mode. Making a schedule in terms of, like, we should have the structure to their routine. There should be structured learning. There should be some free time, free play for the child. There should be some exercise. And what is the consequence? The child feels secure. He is not taken up by surprise, right? If you have a schedule that the child has come up with, all right, this is the time I need to study. This is my online class time. This is my food time. This is my nap time. This is my play time. A structure gives confidence. They are better behaved. We all keep having problems about behavior, right? Of course, children are naughty and they better be. We want active children, right? Active and naughtiness go hand in hand, right? So, but giving a structure, we can calmly move them on to a good routine. All right? We have to act as role models for them. When we have a routine and we have a structure, they will also have a routine. The second thing that everybody has been telling the early childhood educators is that learning during COVID time for pre-primary should basically be more experiential. Even in our schools, we have experiential learning, but that has taken a still higher priority during COVID times. We have to learn, we have to teach our children in a fun way. We have to explain to them, we have to talk about numbers, we have to talk about language, we have to make them understand music, right? So what can you do at home? These are all theory. Ritu ma'am, all this is all theory. What should we do? Please help us out with that. So I collated, and I'll probably send you the cheat sheet through ma'am, Shweta, and she will pass it on to you. There are innumerable ideas that you can also do simply sitting and being with the child. Even if you're working, you spend those little breaks with your child, right? There are things like mirroring each other. You do, like Simon says, touch your shoulders, touch your hair, touch your nose. Those kinds of mirroring activities are fun for the children. Even while cleaning, while cooking, while just, sitting and chatting, that these can be done easily. There is, children love music. I mean, it's not necessary that we understand the beats and all. Just play your mother tongue music, Hindi music, Bollywood music, any music, and teach them how to freeze. Stop the music and freeze. In the early childhood, you must have seen your little ones. If they're running, there's no control. Correct? There's no control. Freeze dancing helps them to control their body movements, which is very important. You can do animal dancing and stop the animal, things like that. Another fun game is, say you have the broom. All right, keep the broom in the middle. All the family members say, what can we do with this broom? What else? So they'll say, okay, we can mop the floor, we can sweep the floor rather. And what else can you do? They have heard stories. Probably they can ride it and fly in the sky. Let their imagination go. Let you also enjoy. You haven't been, you know, you have been so stressed out during these times that you really want to unwind with the children. Memory games. I'm making a shopping list. Let us remember things. So I'm going to the market. I'm going to buy bananas. I'm going to the market. I'm going to buy bananas and potatoes. Then let the child repeat. So what am I going to buy? I'm going to buy bananas. And they should remember in the sequence. Sequential thinking is extremely important in today's world of coding. This is a pre-coding skill. Sequencing is a pre-coding skill, right? Thinking activities. You've not been able to go out in the summer, during summer anywhere. Let's close our eyes. Let's imagine we're going to a small beach. Can you feel the breeze? I can feel let them close their eyes. Probably do this activity. Imagination. Feeling through your imagination. We let them feel through our senses. But there's another way. And what does that do? That does meditation. That is nothing but simple meditation for our children. We can't ask them that you need to have, what is this? Achha, all right. Just pin one. Yeah, good. Otherwise, it's too much distraction then. Right. Thanks, Iswan. So this thinking activity will help your child or children with creative development. In fact, all these activities will help in the brain development while it takes no effort on your part. What is the effort? We're just talking, sitting, dancing, right? And the dancing doesn't have to be like half an hour, 10 minutes. Put a song, right? Freeze dancing is excellent. We're all taking, breaks from our work, from our, office work, from our regular chores at home. So these help the cognition, the creative part in the children. I don't think, would there be any problems with this? I guess
Absolutely.
not. Yeah, I guess not. The third most important thing is we use positive language. I'll just give you an example. Positive language. I know somebody, I can see somebody, there's only one person who has switched on the thing, I guess. So she's telling to the child, I know this has to happen. This has to happen. The child is going to jump on that sofa behind you, dear. Right? What will you say? Beta, don't jump. Nana, don't jump. Don't is an attention-seeking phrase for these kids. They are all attention seekers. The teachers here who are teachers, they understand that very clearly. That children trouble or misbehave to gain attention. They don't misbehave. They have no cognition about what is misbehavior. They cannot understand till 5 years. Logical thinking doesn't even develop, right? So they don't understand that's misbehavior or anything. It's an attention-seeking thing for them. Instead of saying, don't jump on the sofa. Hey, Nana, come on. Let's crawl on the floor like, an animal. You can say, or jump, or let's become a cat. Let's become an elephant. Just put it the other way. All right? Put it the other way. Please remove that word don't from your dictionary right now till your children actually grow up also. Because once they're teen, there'll be more problems with that don't word. All right? So positive, the consequence, I always like to put the
Oh,
consequence.
some aunties were telling
Consequence
about you,
of
about
this
all the
is
kids. We should
that
not
there
show
are
all the kids.
fewer
Kids are
tantrums. All right?
so
There are
intelligent.
fewer tantrums. Coming to tantrums, then, big problem for all of us as parents, isn't it? Throwing tantrums, not behaving, we have work to do. Let us see how we can solve that issue. The kids might be tired, hungry, afraid. Why am I stuck at home? Why am I not allowed to go and play with my friends? Why am I to wear a mask? I don't want to do all that, right? But stop it before it becomes a full-blown misbehavior, tantrum, whatever you want to call it, right? You feel like screaming at the children because you're overworked. We all are overworked during this time. Screaming, yelling, getting angry with the children is like a drug. Every time, when people who take drugs, every time they need a little more to get that high. You all know it, right? The same thing, our screaming, our yelling to the children is acting like a drug. Every time you must have realized they need a little more of it, little more of it. You perpetually, by the time in their teens, you're perpetually yelling at them because they have stopped listening. So it's time you take a pause for 10 seconds, breathe fast, calm down, like we do in the shopping, right? I like
Right.
to do Amazon shopping. I put it in the cart. I'll, buy it from the cart the next day. Half the things get deleted then, isn't it? It's called pausing and reflecting. So pause for a second. Clench your fist, doesn't matter. But don't yell at the children because it's not going to help them. All right? You can, when you have a problem, the children are not listening, then you give choices. This is extremely important. This choice gives them the confidence. Ma papa have given me a choice. Should I play snakes and ladder? Should I play bat and ball? How does it matter to us? We still have to play with them, right? We still have. So you can pick up two that you want to probably play with and then tell them that, all right, here are these two. Which one should we play today? Then you tell us. How much confidence building will take place, you cannot even imagine in that child. These timid little children who are always hiding behind, they start taking responsibility when you give them choices. All right. When I have heard a lot of parents complain that, Ritu, what happens is we are yelling, they're not. We are saying, all right, we're going to get angry with you. We won't take you to the park today. I will not let you watch TV today. And after an hour, you start feeling guilty and you give in. You give in that time for the TV. you're given that time for the play. That's doing a lot of harm. The child is understanding that they are not they're not serious. My folks are not serious about this aspect of it, which is facing the consequences of their behavior. If so, think before you want to say, I'm not going to give you phone or TV for one full day. Make sure that nobody, even if nobody has to watch TV, it is all right. But that child has learned a big lesson in life. And that is about that if I was given a warning and I didn't, understand it, then I have to face the consequences. Just simple tips, you know, flexible timetable, activities, a little bit about bad behavior. Coming from bad behavior, we are like, oh my God, I wish the schools would open, they would have learning there, we would have a structure. And now I am going to take you to that why learning should never stop. Can anybody guess what percentage of the brain develops by the time children are 6 years of age? No teachers are allowed to answer this question, please. All right, Usma? No.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. I understood.
Your team will not answer.
Sure,
Because
ma'am.
you are mentors. I know you know the answer.
Come
Can I
on,
have some
parents, we want
parents,
to hear from
please?
you.
I need an interaction. Otherwise, it won't be enjoyable. Just guess, type in. Somebody says 90%. Deepak Kumar, thank you. 80%. All right. What else, please? Yeah.
Come on, parents.
We want more answers.
100%.
100%. All right. No Google. Exactly. No Googling has to be allowed at this time. It's fastest finger, 40%. Well, yeah. Probably the first person who answered is correct, but it comes as a surprise, and it is 90% of the brain. Probably that person knows, Deepak Kumar knows about brain development. When I became an early childhood educator, till I read about it, I had no clue. When I was raising my kids, I wish I knew that 90% of the brain develops before they turn 6. I'm sure it comes as a surprise to you. Don't you think so, parents?
Absolutely.
Right? Please speak up, parents. It would be fun, isn't it? It is coming as a surprise. So your children are in this category. So let me just go over a little bit to, the brain theory and how it works. So, if you have read a little about brain, there are neurons in the brain that are there. The neurons are nothing but they are information messengers, you can say. They are electrical and chemical impulses to transmit information. And these neural networks are formed, are igniting, are getting formed every day with repeated experiences. All right? And they form connection. So the more experiences the children face, the more neural networks are getting hardwired. That is why some of us still remember a yelling from a teacher or, something very particular about our childhood. That's being hardwired. So this is no time to sit back and wait for some magic potion to take place later on that the education will continue. You lose out, I would say, even a week, you're losing out on making these connections. So what should we do about that? Any guesses? What should we do so that our children, there are more neural networks that are getting formed? I told you about that everyday and repeated experiences. They connect the brain cells. What is happening is at home, what is your routine? The children wake up, they have breakfast. Regular routine, can somebody just tell what is a routine during this time right now? Can we have some parent who can talk about a routine of the child?
We
Like
Yeah,
request
hi,
dinner
them.
party. Yes, sir. Please go
Ritu.
ahead. Yeah.
Deepak here. Yeah, good afternoon. So
Hi.
yeah, the routine is start up with 8 o'clock. He like we wakes up around 7:30, and the
Mhm.
son he wakes up almost like around 8:30 to 9. Before 8:30 around he wakes up. So
Yeah.
the normal routine goes up with freshening up and then breakfast. We try that he do the breakfast by him, but like he wakes up with already a milk with him. So that's what
Yeah.
he do it with a breakfast. Then after my wife, she goes to the office because he has to go on. I
All
stay along
right.
with him throughout the day in the home. So like after
All right.
breakfast, like on the side by side, I keep on continuing with the office work, and then
Correct.
further like he keep on playing all around in the house. Like
Mm-hmm.
though I'm around, he keep on coming to me and keep on playing with the toys. Sometimes like in a TV, cartoons, videos, and also keep on going on. So
Right,
that's
sir.
how then further fruits and lunch, those things goes on. In between, like I
Correct.
keep on working on my desktop and I keep on roaming around me. So in between I talk to him, like I just communicate, I ask him to play with this toys or like I like just keep on taking the breaks. So that's how it
Right.
goes till 2 o'clock and then I make him sleep so that after 2 o'clock I work myself little
I
comfortably.
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, we need
So,
that, Deepak. Don't
so
we all
though
need
my
that? Hmm.
yeah, my actual work start after 2 o'clock office work.
All
After
right.
6, my wife comes around. So then further she takes care of him till
Right.
when he wakes up around 4 o'clock. Just now he has woken up and he's in my
Okay.
lap now.
I can understand that. Yes, very nice. So
So
that's a typical, isn't it? I think all
yeah,
parents would agree that that's a typical thing. So what is happening is every time you are connecting with the child, when you talk to the child, the neural networks are getting formed. But let me explain one very important thing. And that is we do put, videos, we do put cartoons for our children. This is passive screen time. Trust me, there is no learning taking place. It is a one-way communication. Neural networks take place when there is a, what is it called, serve and return kind of a interaction. So passive screen time. Screens are just TVs and these videos are just one slide after the other for a child. The child might passively learn some songs, but comprehension does not take place. Critical thinking does not take place. That is why we always in early childhood education, we said that reduce your screen time. Correct? That was the reason. Unfortunately, sometimes even the content may not be age appropriate. We start off and, it should be for a higher level. There is somebody, their favorite, a pig dies. That might be their favorite pig, you know. So we have to understand that age appropriate, it should be mandatory. And nowhere does it say, it's all our judgment. Whatever videos we put, we feel all right, they're good for them. But nothing on the screen is good. So, especially the videos and the TV. So, why am I propagating? Online learning, it is the closest at this moment that we can get to actual physical classroom. Please understand, the screen is only going to act as an interface. You must have seen those Chinese schools which have those barriers, they put those things and children are sitting in and all that. The teachers will just conduct as they conduct their regular classrooms. Now comes the importance of these teachers. There is an interaction between your child and the teacher. So, brain is developing fast. Neural networks are getting formed. The teacher is well trained and she understands how the brain is developing and she asks the relevant questions to your child. You must have seen, if you have ever observed a teacher teaching kindergarten children or even the younger children, I think 50% of her time she spends asking questions. What is she trying to achieve? She's only trying to achieve a high, brain development and taking children from lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills. If some of you are aware, this was designed by Bloom and they're called as Bloom's taxonomy. So there is a hierarchy in which the brain, through the questioning techniques, we can take children from lower order thinking skills. Lower order thinking skills is just remembering, all right, what happened in the story, just a remembering who came. But then we take them to comprehension, analysis, and creative, right? So this hierarchy, parents, it's very difficult to achieve it. And why is it important? Our children are in 0 to 6 age group. We cannot stop that. And the teacher will ask a question just like you and I communicated, Deepika and I communicated right now, right? So the child is answering and slowly they will go to higher order thinking skills. That's what a teacher does even in her regular classroom. We are very well trained in early childhood teachers are very well trained in Bloom's taxonomy questioning, and we frame our questions, whether we are doing a rhyme and helping the children or whether we are doing a story or a concept like transport and all. We don't just jump into concept. All right, this is a car. This is a truck. This is an ambulance. No. The teacher asks questions and elicits responses from the children through their learning and which are the answers from his or her learning environment. That's why it is very important to have these online learning experience. I hate to call them classes. We are not going to be evaluating your children. All right? We are going to not stop their brain, this neuron networks to be formed. We'll not stop that process. And in that process, they're going to be learning all the concepts, right? So this is extremely important. Now, with this, I think there might be some questions that you might all be having in your mind. What I would like you to do is put the questions in the chat window, and Uzma, the center head, can help me at the end when in a Q&A session to answer the important ones, and we'll continue the process if time does not permit us. Right? So please, you can park your questions there, and Uzma can take care of it in another 15 minutes probably. Right? So understand this, that Bloom's taxonomy, neural networks, we have to work on that. Now, Each child, you must have seen and compared your children. I hate to compare, but we do compare. We're normal human beings, isn't it? There are different kinds of learners. Some kids are singing nursery rhymes, singing away to glory. There are those others who are listening very carefully. There are others who are learning through feel and touch. There are others who learn in the environment, in the open nature. There are 8 kinds of learners. All right? A teacher. So this is coming from the Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. He was the first one who said that we all have different intelligence. Some of us are visual learners, and we have all of them. It's not that if I'm a visual learner, I don't have auditory learning capabilities. So, different kinds of learners are visual learners, auditory learners, kinesthetic, logical, social, solitary, naturalistic. There is a list that is there. And every part is there in the brain. Some a little more, some a little less. When we are working with the children, we as the teacher fraternity, when we are working with the children, we know we have to give experiences in all these to help them, enhance their intelligence in all the areas. Let's just take up an example. I mean, Uza will vouch for this, that when we start with alphabets, all right, we show it to them. There's a flashcard. I wish I had my flashcards. My flashcards are stuck in my center and I'm not allowed to go as yet. All right. So there is A written, say. There is A and A for apple and other things. Everybody does that. You do it at home. We do it in schools. That is visual learning. All right. Auditory, they're listening to the sounds, what that says, and what are the things that start with that sound, and the phonemic awareness develop. By phonemic awareness, for a layman, means that what is the sound? What is the sound of Ritu? What is the first sound of Ritu? What is the first sound of pig? Just that. And what is the last sound? We work through our language in a lot of this kind of area. Kinesthetic learners, we don't leave them behind. We put our fingers up and make A in the sky. All right? That gives them spatial awareness. You must have seen when your children start writing first, they're writing such big A, the line is going crooked because they're learning how to handle the space. Spatial awareness is very important. Then, so that kinesthetic learners are there. Thank you. You write the A. That was wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is a very helping parent, right? And then we make them write in sand and a lot of things. We go to the garden, we pick up sticks and make A. So that the child's multiple intelligences are enhanced to a level. A teacher understands each kind and provides suitable learning experiences to develop the intellectual ability. So we cannot reduce the role, and we cannot reduce the role of a teacher in early childhood. Especially there's a little bit
I
of noise.
request, yeah,
Yeah,
I
please
request the parent to please mute themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right? So now you will ask me the question. So what will a teacher do online? The teacher is going to work with the child, and initially we might face some problem. Your child might want to run away. You might have to sit down with the child. We are not denying that it's an easy task. But at the same time, we are very keen that our children don't stop learning. So there'll be a teacher who will come and we will be doing dancing, we'll be singing, we'll be doing stories, and we'll take them to their, brain development will keep on happening, right? At the same time, we'll slowly move into curriculum also. The curriculum will not be on the back burner. Probably, I would say a week it'll take us to launch the children onto the curriculum, because first we have to, just like when they come to school after vacation, they are very cranky. They don't have a routine set up, so it takes time, right? The similar way in an online learning also, it's going to take that much time, a week, I would say. And after that, we're doing phonemic awareness. Writing is the easiest thing that will happen. That's why in English we say it is LSRW. You first listen. The child listens. The baby, when the baby is born, you are only listening. That's why we tell the parents say we should stop talking in mother tongue and speak only English. No, 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 no. A child from a multilingual family knows I need to speak with mommy in Punjabi, for daddy in Kannada, and my ayama in Telugu. Perfect. The child's mind is very clear because he's been listening to all these languages when he was not speaking, and then he learns to speak. Then comes reading, and in the end is writing. Okay, that is why I am not afraid about launching an online class, because I can very easily take care of my three things: listening, speaking, and reading. Writing will be doing the spatial things, will be sending the things. Slowly, they will understand and write. And once the physical classroom starts, if these things are in place, the child's skills will be the finer motor rhymes through our activities, which will be online, and it will be simple activities that we're going to send. You will not have to exert. So let me just digress a little and explain. The kind that we are working on for early childhood all across is that there'll be a teacher to child interaction, which is the online, using the screen of our laptops or whatever gadget you will use. There'll be a parent and child interacted activity, which is basically nothing but a recap of what has been done in the class, right? Through PPT, and you can interact and talk about it. Please just don't give the PPT and keep pressing enter, enter, enter. Okay, just ask the question and you know where it's coming from. I just, talked about it. And then there is a child independent activity. This activity will be simple, but should be done completely by the child. We don't want fancy stuff coming out. We want these children to do eye-hand coordination and think and act so that cognitive development is taking place, right? And basically, what will happen is we will help them with, if I summarize, thinking skills, emotional skills through stories, through rhymes, right? Social skills through interaction. We will not stop any kind. We have prepared games that they will be playing one by one, even if they're simple games, but a child wants simple. As they say, it's called KISS. It is keep it simple and there was another one, simple and something else. I'm forgetting. Uh, it'll come back to me. I'll just tell you. All right. So in early childhood, we just say, let's plan, let's think in terms of a kiss, right? And So let's keep it very, very simple, but higher order thinking skills so that they are completely aligned. And the other two are physical movements and coordination through our rhymes, through our songs, through our midline crossing, through our brain break activities. We will not be taking a lesson completely like, okay, study, 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 study. Not like that. We'll start with rhymes, we'll do something, we'll take a brain break so that the children are active again and again listen, right? So, and then of course, there is language development that will take place. But the most important part that we want your support is to be positive about it. We want feedback. Any change brings along with it lot of challenges. I have done online classes, not now. I have been doing online classes for the last 6, 7 years for, you know, kids of all age, groups. There were teething problems that came up, but I got good feedback from the critical feedback from the parents, and we adopted slowly and steadily. Everything will iron out, and then very soon, hopefully, we'll be back into our classrooms. As of now, wherever your child will take the class, make sure that that is a designated area for the classes, because child wants structure. He does not like that one day he can take it lying down in the bed, the other day he's sitting up, third day he's next to you in the kitchen. No, there has to be a designated place. Just like you drop your child to the school, you help the child log in. See, this is going to be your classroom. You'll soon see your teacher coming up, right? And once the child is comfortable, you can probably leave or sit there along. If you have that time with you, that would be wonderful, because that will give us and the school a lot of feedback. How can we improve? What are the problems that you are facing? Right? So I'll end just by saying again and reiterating, please, let's not stop the learning process, and all will be well. Thank you so much, parents, for listening to me. I hope I've been able to clear some of your thoughts, if not all. And I'm ready to take up questions, even if you want to read it. Uzma will help me out in this.
Sure, ma'am. So the first question is from Ms. Pushpalata, and she's asking, having extended family doesn't let us allow these. How do we handle this?
No, excuse me, I'm not clear about what do you want? Does not allow what? Extended family does not. I understand. If are you talking what are you talking about? Is it online class or is it not watching TV?
It's the activities, I guess.
Huh?
Might be online classes, Ritu Ma'am.
Might be online classes. So please explain to, I think everybody wants the very best for their child and for their grandchildren or for whatever. So if that's the question, if you explain to them that we cannot stop learning at this time, these are the most crucial years of our life. I can do, homeschooling some other time later in life, but not right now. Right now, we want that interaction. In fact, I would say if schools don't go online from high school, it's okay. Those children can manage. Our babies cannot manage. But please explain to them, because nobody is aware that what's happening. They'll say, oh, they're only kids. No, they will learn next year. I know because I do parenting workshops. I know these problems come in, that they feel that Just a matter of 5, 6 months. Why should we, worry about it? No, I would say, as I told you earlier, also, every minute, every day matters in a child's life. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sure.
So, yeah, go ahead to the second question, ma'am.
Sure.
It's from Miss Meher, and the
Mhm.
question is: Me and my husband both work full time from home. That is from morning 10 to 6. How
All
can
right.
we engage our kid with
Okay. I'll answer. I got your question. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me? All right. Uh, I know, I understand. You're working full time from 10 to 6, right? Engaging with our kids. So, see, initially, just if you can take off for that time, I don't know, that's between you and the management of the schools, that what time do you fix? If you can spend that hour, slowly you will see that child will not leave, need you. Your kids of working parents know the importance of their parents' work. So soon, but initially, yes, I would say, Mayor, that they will need a little bit of time. It's like if the child is unwell, you take off from work, no, to take care of them. It's just a matter of 45 minutes to an hour per day. Initially, I would say, right? So, and activities will not need your help. We will not do any dangerous activities. It'll be just tearing things, paper and all that. And that will be given to you instructions that you need to keep this for the child. And just like I think the person who was, interacting with me earlier said that, I'm doing my work and he's hanging around here and there. And you're giving him activities, the child activities, that'll work. Coming to your
absolutely?
third part of the question, how can we reduce screen time? See, right now, you also agreed that we are showing a lot of cartoons and all that so that we can work, right? But now, when the screen time is there, let us save that 1 hour from there and put them for an online learning experience with the teachers. So you can save on actual screen time by moving them there. And if you are talking in general about reduction, I'm not very clear about the question. If I take it to the extent that how do you reduce screen time? We are the role models. We got to reduce our screen time. All right. If we reduce our screen time and we work and play with the children in all these little activities that I had collated, right? Then the child will also feel. The same thing I tell to, parents. That parents say, about reading. They says that our, children are not fond of reading because I am not fond of reading. But we can act, no? You can pick up a book and act like reading. How does it matter? Child doesn't know whether you're reading or not, right? You can be a role model in that way. And trust me, the child will pick up a book and act like reading. You're giving him the power. You are, giving him that great habit of reading, which will stay with him or her throughout life. So be a role model. If we are onto WhatsApp, I say that, actually we switch off the WhatsApp when we, or your other, social media or other things. Of course, you can't stop the school, the office work, I'm sorry, but you can mute the other things and so that the child knows that I am important. Your children are too little. They need to get, that's why they're seeking attention. So screen time reduction, I mean, is only possible if you give a structure to the child. You have to do this. You have to help me in chores, whether it is just putting the counting the plates and putting it on the dining table, or, taking water bottle and keeping it. They can do little tasks. Does that answer your question, Meher?
Absolutely, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, all right. Yeah,
And the
please
third
feel free. Huh.
And the third question is from Mr. Kedar. And he's
Uh-huh.
telling, hi, ma'am, how much screen time is good enough for a kid below 6 years, including all TV
Yeah,
cartoons, mobile games, or online classes? Is there an
right.
average time that won't harm the child?
So, see, we have to understand the situations have changed. As I told you, we were the propagators for no screen time. All right, because we believe that it is a one-way interaction. Instead of that, having a cartoon book, we were telling the parents. Unfortunately, the situations all around the world, it's not just for us, have changed. And we are coming up. In these 2 months, we have come up with activities, with things which are the closest to a physical classroom, which are the closest to the physical classroom. So, if a classroom, how to engage, we have done training of the teachers. So, if the teacher knows how to engage and is engaging through the activities, that is the closest we can bring during this unprecedented times. But otherwise, absolutely no TV, no cartoons, no mobile games. We don't give mobile games. You know what is happening? Their pincer grip is not getting formed. You see, mobile phone is so easy. It's just scrolling. Which muscles are being used? The three muscles, finger muscles that are used, they're called as a pincer grip or a tripod grip. That's how. That's how the children are writing like this, and like this. Because we are always giving them a game which is on their mobile. Why can't we can just simply, we can give you ideas. I think the school can collate some ideas. A Ludo game. He can, child can play by himself even if you don't have time. Okay, this is mommy, this is daddy's color, this is my color, this is the baby's color. All right, and I'm playing a game for all of them. What is happening? The muscles, finer muscle, he's using the dice, he's lifting the coins and putting them. He's learning counting, right? He's ecstatic because he wins. He loses, he feels sad, but he knows that sadness does not last very long. If I lose, it's okay, it's just a game. So much goes into a board game. And it's not that we need to buy expensive one. We just make the board games, draw a line, just snakes and ladders, do anything. We can send you ideas. That's not a problem at all. So I was always, that's what I am reiterating. We were always, as early childhood educators, we requested parents to switch off their mobiles and switch off the TV when the children were awake. But unfortunately, yes, this is the closest. And, so much. The American Association of Pediatricians have confirmed that we cannot let the education, the brain development stop for anybody. So let us go and help in the process. All right. We can take a couple of more questions, Uzma.
Sure, ma'am. So the next question is from Miss Bindu, and she is asking how to encourage and motivate first-time kids for online classes.
All right. That's a very good question and a very apt one. Yes, it's going to be difficult. We are going to say, just like you go to the school, I am going to introduce you to your teacher today. All right. And when the teacher comes, you probably will have to coax a little to the child or sit with the child. If the teacher is doing action rhymes, please, parents, you also do the action rhymes. You are the role models. If a teacher is telling everybody stand up, you as parents also stand up. Or if a grandparent is attending, helping you attend the class, tell the grandparent, please get up with the child, do some actions. And then the child is watching that all my friends are doing. Yippee, I can do it too. That's the only thing you need. Isn't that the only thing you need for sending the child to the school? The children cry. My own children, I have two children, both my children cried. They would not want to go to school till class 1. But once inside the classroom, they were happy learners. Right? So that overcome, we have to overcome till the teacher arrives. Our teachers will not be late. We promise you that they will log in before you. All right, they'll be welcoming the children just like they do at the gate of a school. Right? So it is, so just motivation will come by watching the peer, watching the teacher, and for a few days, please, parents, bear with us as educators. We are equal stakeholders. We want the very best for our children. You know, we don't want this next generation to suffer because there was COVID,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah. We can take
Uh,
one more question, whichever you feel is.
sure, ma'am. So, yeah. The next question is from
Hmm.
Miss Sujita and sorry, Mr. Deepak, and he is asking like for online classes, many a time we have office meeting that is becoming a hurdle. So
Yeah,
how?
yes, that'll be a hurdle because the timings might not match. I think, you can have a poll or, something like that, because this is something that you will have to resolve, probably, I think even the people at work will understand once in a while if you have to move. It'll be just a matter of 1 week, Deepak. Let me tell you. Trust me, you will only have to go switch on the system and come back. But yes, that you have to work what time the classes will be the best suited. Will it be early morning? Will that be better for you and your children? Will it be later in the day? Will it be, like later in the day means like around 11? I will not be able to help you with that. You and the administration have to work in coordination. Both have to work together to come to a conclusion about the time, right? So that is there. I can see a short break, and apart from that, we have activities. Yeah, the breaks would be there. They're also called as brain breaks. There'll be washroom breaks, there'll be water break, but they won't be extended for period of time. We will launch for just a very short duration, depending upon the age category, and that will be communicated to you via the school, right? And then we'll slowly see the response and then, go ahead with it. I see Suman, that's an important. Kids do learn by observing us, but unfortunately, we cannot avoid technology when work is required. Responding to queries from work. So, kids, all right. How to handle this problem? We know we just cannot avoid keeping phones away from us or the kid. Yes, but then we can have a structure where you can have technology free time with the child. If you are referring to my other activities about, keeping away from that. So you can have technology free time for everybody. You're not to be on the phones I don't think, work requires that much that you have to be constantly on your phones, or you can hide it in your pocket and keep it on mute if you need to be. But we can hide it from these kids. No, I do not believe that we cannot stop children from using mobile phones. We can say, this is your classroom time, we'll play there. All right. If if there is a problem at home in terms of working parents, yes, you can give another half an hour, 45 minutes to the child to play to watch some videos, right? Yes, I can understand your problem, Suman. I do understand the problem, but we have to do it, right? And coming back to my idea about, you have to tell that this is my work, it is important, just like when you have your schoolwork, that is important. This is my schoolwork, this is very important, right? Uh, Please help in how to avoid screen time while feeding the kids, because nowadays, yes, the child is learning. It's a very important question to understand. The child is learning from from the sense, with the help of the sense organ, from the environment. When you are feeding the child, you feed the children. I have seen parents, you will take up a bite, put the child, show some things on the videos, and then they are eating, right? You are taking away an experience, the touch experience, which will connect the kinesthetic advancement that's taking place in the brain, right? The colors, how exciting are the colors? It is, the child has forgotten all about it. So the best way is, it needs courage, it needs consistency. All right, you say there'll be no, yeah, one day the child might eat a little less, but children don't stay hungry. All right, make the favorite food a couple of times, which the children can eat on their own, right? And then leave them. Don't worry too much about nutrition for that period of time. They will understand, that we have to eat, we will not get. It is our courage. It is us parents for our thing. Okay, he should get this much, he should get this much. He will get when he's eating with the family. He sees everybody eating together. If you are eating in front of the TV, yes, your child will never eat on his or her own. But if you are eating together, and you're saying, wow, look at the color of, this, whatever you have made, the dal, oh, yellow color today, wow, isn't that fun? The child will pick up. It takes time. Probably you can reduce the time. Okay, one meal you can give with the thing. That's just a transition. Start with one, or like withdraw just from one meal, then half a meal. Like that, you can try out these things. Yes, YouTube
Um,
does provide a lot of, probably that will be my last question. All right. So, visual aids, YouTube Kids, yes, they do provide learning and development. What is learning and development? If that person, Naveen ji, can you explain to them what video is helping in the development of the child? If you can elaborate, I'll be able to help you better. What kind of videos are we talking about? If you could just speak, that would be great. Because about alphabets, it is just a passive learning. Naveen, it's just passive learning. Trust me, rhymes, they're just learning. They're just learning. There is some interaction that has started coming, like when they drag and drop and things like that, they are better because there is an interaction. There are fingers being used. I agree. That is a better to give those kinds than passive ones. Where there's a drag and drop, It's a train of, I've seen many videos like that. There is a train and you have to put the alphabets there or count and, write it down or drag and drop or flip open the flashcards. Those are better because there is interaction. So when you're working, put those kinds of YouTube videos instead of just passive. Even if you say that the child is only sitting and doing the rhymes now. When we make our children, even in an online class, we're making the children stand, do things. There is a more interaction. Would you agree to that, Naveen? Right. So, I know there'll be lots of questions, and probably, Uzma and Shweta can, collate them, get back, and we can, help you out further. We can even have yet another interaction, probably, after we have taken the classes and getting a feel of it. And please, I'm sure the management is very, very open to your suggestions, and slowly and steadily, everything will not happen overnight. You also know that they're little tiny babies, and slowly and steadily, when we work together, we are going to achieve a classroom through this screen, which will be our online learning platform. So good luck to all the parents, and hopefully everything will go smooth and we will be helping our children. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ritu Ma'am. It was really a very interactive session and very informative also. So I hope we have answered almost all the questions of the parents.
Yeah, we
And
can take
thank you
up
for
later
giving us
also.
time. And yeah,
No, it's my pleasure. I am very attached to early childhood area, the preschools, and I really want that these babies don't lose out because of a pandemic that's very unfortunate anyway for all of us. Thank you so much.